Actually, for some of you, it will be good morning. So I say good morning, world of beautiful and handsome international optometrists seeking UK qualification. Welcome to my life. And today I'm just going to be sharing nuggets from my own experience, things that I wish I had known before I started my journey as an optometrist. These are things I had to learn the hard way. I learned on the way through trial and error, a lot of late nights. Oh my God, bless my husband. Coming back late in the night, literally, as a married woman, I was just like, let me get through that door before 12 midnight, when I was browsing and studying in the library. And so I'm 100% sure that what I will be talking about today is going to be very helpful for you. Okay. So, um, if you're here right now, I'd like you to let me know where you are and where you're watching from. I'm just going to share this stream into some places. Okay. I'm going to share it for a group. And let's share to the other group. Okay. So I'd like you to catch it. So I'm just going to stall a little bit. And once you come on right now, I would encourage you to go ahead and share. I'm just checking that we are live. If you're watching from YouTube or LinkedIn, and kind enough to let me know. Okay, yeah, YouTube is working. Right, we're just going to see what I can. Okay, I need to share this. I'm going to share it there. Cool. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. All right, let's check that this is working on LinkedIn. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming in. Is that? Yes, it is. Is that? Just repose. Mm-hmm. Awesome. All right. Right. Thank you so much for coming in. And I'm just going to get started. I want to make sure that the platforms are working. Hello, good evening, good morning, or good afternoon. Let me know what country you're watching from and just say greeting your time. And my time is evening. I'm broadcasting from Excess in United Kingdom. Where are you watching in from? Where are you listening in from? And I'm going to be talking and pausing and answering questions. I really appreciate those of you that are coming in from countries where the internet costs a whole load, but I know that you're going to get some value out of what I'll be discussing today. Because I am sharing the 10 things I wish someone had told me before I started my own UK qualification journey as an international optometrist qualified in Nigeria. These things I had to learn the hard way through trial and error, a lot of late nights. I always say, God bless my husband, who was very supportive and was happy to put the kids to bed. I would literally snip in through the door, just before it's 12 midnight, so that it wouldn't be that a married woman slept out, was outside till the next day. So it wasn't easy because when you are going through this qualification process, and you don't really know what to study, how to study, what you just literally you're studying like from you just keep studying any material, any textbook you keep going through. It is very helpful in the end, but it was quite overwhelming at the time. All right. So, number one thing I wish I had known, and I hope that you know as well, that it's not a straight path. I assumed that, okay, I tried to qualify, get information before I came into the UK. I just assume you come in, show up to the college. Hey, Dr. Adeze Cosmos. I want to join the College of Optometrists because at the time from Nigeria, it seemed as if you can join, and even now you can join. So I thought I was actually qualified, and then I could just pick up a job and start practicing optometry. There were a lot of agencies that were reaching out to me, as in, okay, so, and then they would ask me a question like, do you have a GOC number? And I would like, I don't have a GOC number. What's that? Nobody's giving me that, but I know I'm part of the College of Optometrists. And so, for those of you that are feeling that, I don't know, how many of you here are part of the College of Optometrists here in the UK? If you are, let me know. And if you aren't, I'm just going to jump in and tell you right now that you need to join the College of Optometrists if you are looking to qualify in the UK. Do you know why? Because they've got so much resources that you need to look at in order to prepare even for your interview, and it's going to be so helpful for your pre-registration year as well. Let me see who's here. Thank you for coming in. Let's see. Uguma, okay, you're watching from LinkedIn. Raja, hello from Pakistan. Awesome. Good evening, Obajima. Thank you. Watching from Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt. I remember I worked in Port Harcourt. I worked in Brett White Specialist Hospital. That's where I did my youth service and internship, and I worked by water lines for Floormat Eye Clinic. I was the lead optometrist then. I'll tell that story another day, but yeah. Thank you all for coming in. If you wouldn't mind to share to your network so that others can join, and remember to drop your questions, and then I would answer as I go along. So that is what I thought, okay? And because I didn't know what it entails, there was the GOC website. And I know that when I looked at that GOC website, things were written in plain English, just as they are written right now. But I had no clue of even how to implement what they were talking about on the GOC website. And so I won't be surprised. I'm never surprised at anyone that comes into my space and they say, I really want you to hold my hand to go through things, because I'm looking at something on the website, I'm looking at this, but I don't understand it. So if that is you, know that you are not alone. Some people, it turns them off and they just say, okay, this is not for me. I mean, if I can't even interpret what is written on the website, how am I supposed to pass my interview? How am I supposed to cope in the consortium? But I am voicing it out to let you know that it's not unique to you. That is how all of us, no one would say that they read what is on the website and they understand exactly, okay, how am I doing this? How am I feeling this? No. Okay. So, yeah. And because my degree was is in English. All of us that studied in Nigeria, our degree is actually English. English is the general franca, the lingua franca for teaching in Nigeria. Number one, number two, because I was born in England, so I'm a British citizen. I thought that I just walk in and then here I am, get me sorted, get me the job, let me get my ophthalmoscope out and start working. But I had to learn that there is a system. And even for myself, that's British, and my degree is in English, they said, well, lady, you're going to have to go do the IELTS. And I was like, sorry, excuse me. And they said, yep, you're going to have to go do that academic IELTS. And we need these grades, okay? And yeah, it doesn't matter whether you could be born anywhere in the world, including down at my down the hospital by my road, but you need to go do that IELTS. I get that question a lot. So if you are doing your masters here in the UK and you're wondering, do you need to do your IELTS? Yes, you do. Okay, you need to do IELTS academic. Okay, so no one tells you that your degree doesn't literally translate one to one into the English UK system. And I think by God's grace, I know that I've put a lot of content out there. So I hope that no one is like me almost 10 years ago. Okay. So you have to prove your clinical reasoning, decision making, and professional standards. And in this system, they judge that beginning from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3. And I'm going to be covering all, if not in these lives that I'm doing, everything is going to be covered in the masterclass. Okay. Now, the next thing I wish I knew was that I'm not to trust all advice, because all advice is not good advice. Yeah, that was a mistake I made. I reached out to my colleague that was already in the United Kingdom when I came in, and I wanted to start, I really wanted to pivot into optometry. And I had a chat with him, and what he said to me, he asked me one question, and I remember it was in pediatrics. I can't remember the question he asked me, but I must have blabbed something that didn't make sense. And I said, "You see what I'm saying? You need to go back to university and study again." And because he did the same thing, I know two people from my school, Imo State University, that came into the country and went back to do optometry. Others decided to do other things, but I was really like, I ain't going back to school. I ain't going back to school for nothing. No, not going to school, not going back to school. I will get in, either to optometry or go graduate entry medicine. But it only took the right advice from an international optometrist that had gone through the qualification process for me to get answers. And that is now my rule. Only take advice from your colleagues that have gone through the system successfully. Okay? Don't let them inject fear into you. Some people you talk to and they tell you, how do you know that person that got first class? Do you know that he went in and it was closure? Do you know this person that went there? I mean, they have like 10 masters. They've been in the UK for so long. They work with Specsavers. They work with Vision Express. And then they've gone in there and they didn't even get. I mean, I don't think you have a chance. No, no, no. You are different. You are unique. With the right mindset, with the right guidance, you can definitely do it. So only take advice from people who have done the process successfully, or those that are actively, in that space. All right. Now, number 3, and this is for my beautiful, lovely African friends, okay, especially from, I would only talk about Nigeria. I don't know how the culture is in Pakistan or in India. Don't do this alone, okay? When I came into the country, back into the United Kingdom, when I was going through my qualification process, I zipped it. I didn't even want no one to know what I'm doing. I was just doing my thing. Now, you need to take this on the wisdom side. I don't mean go broadcast your business on every platform, but if you know someone that is practicing in the United Kingdom, and this applies to if you want to go to America, you want to go to Australia, Canada, and all, you need an insider. You don't take advice and don't use what we know from, your home country or the way they do it in your country or in Pakistan, in India, in Nigeria, in Zimbabwe, in Ghana, and you just run with it. No. You need to get a pack. Look for a pack. A pack would be birds of the same feather, birds that know that they can qualify. We can pass this thing. We can be this UK qualified optometrist. Where are they? Join hands with them. Get into groups, useful groups that have people that understand the system and they're able to move you forward. And I want to say that if you are watching this stream right now and you're feeling that you are doing it alone, you are not. You've got us in your corner. You've got content. We've got the YouTube channel. We're on LinkedIn. Going forward every afternoon on TikTok during my lunchtime. And even if Monday to Friday, it's all going to be giving you tips and even tutorials on what you need to do to gain this UK qualification, more or less like a Q&A. Come there, ask your questions, and get immediate answers. Okay, because I just like the way TikTok live stream works. So that's what I've decided I want to do for now. Okay, right. Let me just check if you've got any questions. Let us know. All right. So, Ghana, you say wow oh. So tell me, what's the wow oh? What are you wow ohing? What are you wow ohing? All right. I'm just going to keep going because I've got a class that I'm doing in the academy this evening. Got wonderful candidates in the academy, and I'm just going to be taking them on some clinical things. So I am going to go through, and then I will log out to log in to do my academy duties with the lovely people that I'm working with. I'm excited for their progress. Yes. So number 4. In the beginning of my journey, I wish I knew that my experience counts, and it counts for a lot, especially if you know how to present it. I nearly gave up. Literally, oh my God, I could show you. Let me see. Let me see if I can get that book. Oh no, it's in the bin bag. Just this morning, I was clearing out my cupboard, and I saw the big book that I bought for to go through A level, because to get into graduate entry medicine, you have to do GAMSAT exam, which is the graduate something something exam, entrance exam, and to sit that exam successfully, you have to really master A level physics, chemistry, biology, and maths. Literally today, I literally just carried the biology and just threw in the bin, because my son that is going into A levels, he looked at it and said, "Mom, no, this is way outdated. It's not useful for me." I would have just flashed it for you to see on the camera. So I almost gave up, because I thought my Nigerian experience didn't matter. I thought, I've wasted and honestly speaking, in the beginning of my journey here in the UK, when I came in and I was working as a healthcare assistant, I almost became really angry with. I was releasing an emotion towards like Nigeria and their education system. Why isn't Why isn't the certificate, like the doctor of optometry that I have? Why doesn't it count for anything in the UK? Why would I have to waste all the time and money in university and come here, and then it's like I have my experience is up to nothing? So I almost left optometry, and I was really, really studying to go into medicine, because then I said I'll work my way up and I'll become an ophthalmologist. And I remember vividly that it was August 5th, 2014 was the last day to submit your application for that particular exam. And it would have been just maybe the 4th or the 3rd. This lady walked into Vision Express where I was working on the shop floor, and I asked her that question: where did you qualify? And when she said Nigeria, that was it for me. That was it. Connection. Connected with someone that knew what was going on. Connection. And she said to me, so many people are doing this, so many people are qualifying, and you will qualify. And I think she said something like by this time next year. And it happened like that. By August 2015, 1 year. Remember, I came into the country 2012. So for 3 years, dilly-dallying, almost giving up. But that one encounter with someone that knew how far, she showed me, all the places I need to go for tutorials, connected me to the group, and all that. So I really wish that I had known that my experience counts for something. All the money I spent in buying all the books, registering for classes for other things, I should have qualified literally. Came in 2012. I should have qualified 2013, isn't it? And then, keep moving. But it's fine. So, but luckily we're here today and we're discussing all these things. So that wouldn't be your matter. All right. Number 5. The GOC competency exam is more about communication than facts. Yeah. hmm You could know everything clinically, and I know I knew a lot. Well, I feel I knew a lot then, and I know I knew a lot, and still fail if you can't communicate it well. And I'll tell you something. When we Oh, okay, yes, I did. I practiced in Port Harcourt, definitely. Yeah. Now, when we were doing group discussions, I remember this beautiful lady that was doing group discussions with us. And I remember us traveling to Birmingham for ocular diseases tutorial. And I remember the lecturer was going through and asking us questions. This lady is so good when it comes to us studying and practicing on our own. We will study, we practice, then we go for tutorials. We'll study, we practice, then we go for practical tutorials and all that. But we all noticed that whenever they asked, it was her turn to answer the question, she starts to waffle. She starts waffling, and we begin to wonder, you know, sadly, yeah, well, but yeah, obviously she didn't quite make it through. But the truth of the matter is, it's not about just knowing the clinical facts or the way to do stuff. You really need to know how to communicate in a way that the assessors will get what you're saying, in a way that your supervisor gets what you're saying, in a way that your patients can hear and they know exactly what you're saying. So that is so important, because they are assessing not just your ability on what you're saying or the question you're asked, they are also assessing the reason, how you can explain it, how you're thinking out loud under pressure, and not just to recite the information that you know um I remember going through the competency exams at the time, binocular vision. I remember before I went into that exam, someone walked up to me and said, "Could you mind explaining ACA ratio?" And I'm like, ACA ratio? I know exactly where it was in Pickwell. I just opened the page and I looked at it, and I just released it to the person. And I remember going into the binocular vision hall. Immediately after that, it was my turn. They called me. I went upstairs. This is the time you were doing it live. And I sat down there. And the first question the gentleman asked me is, "Can you tell me about ACA ratio?" Oh my God. Did I just release information that I memorized without quite understanding the tech behind it or what goes behind it? Praise God, he didn't ask any further. But one thing I know with the process the process of qualification now, that you need to master your communication. I did struggle with that a little bit, and I had to really go over it over and again, over and again, and over and again. Don't mind the person you see talking to you now. That's not how I was then. I remember a lovely lady that I worked with in the academy. And yeah, she's done her interview, she's got her desired outcome. And she said to me, "I saw you February in the webinar, and I saw this African lady speaking English." And I said, when I get to the UK, I'm going to connect with her. So don't mind me now. I was just where most of us are. A lot of people come in and like, "Oh, my English, not communicating." I mean, for those, I don't know how many of you are in the United Kingdom right now. You go to the hospital, you go to your GP, and you hear some doctors, some nurses, the way they speak English is not polished, but they're qualified, practicing all the same. So don't hide behind the skies of, "Oh, I can't communicate, or my English is not good." Just keep going. Okay. Now, the next thing you need to know is that everything you're doing is a skill test in disguise. In my time, it was the logbook. Right now is the GOC form. It's not just a form. It may look like a boring application form. In my time, it looked like a boring logbook. Why do I need to fill in all these things? No. but it is also a clinical assessment tool. So if your descriptions are vague, not organized, the numbers don't add up, definitely. I say it and I've proven it. Two people from the same institution, from the same country, filling out the application form. One gets an invite for an interview, the other doesn't get an invite to an interview, and they just send an email to say that your qualification does not match up with the UK standard. And so, unfortunately, we are unable to continue to the interview stage. Two things. Okay, great stuff. All right. Now, the next thing I want to let us know is the longer you wait, the harder it gets. Some people say, I want to take my time, end of the year, this, that, that. The more you waste time, the harder it gets. You know, back in the day, I would think, oh yeah, I'm just taking my time, you know, but I'm losing momentum. Okay, I'm losing confidence. Yeah, at that time, I can't remember who I called. Oh yes, there's a lovely lady I work with in the academy. She's part of the academy staff, Dr. Joy. Um, I remember she had submitted her logbook even before I knew that the group or there are people that are doing it exists. And each time I call her, like, as you're doing what you're doing, just make sure you call me. Call me. Don't, yeah, call me. So you need to want this thing. Okay. There is, it is possible. You're gonna get there. You need to want it for yourself. Okay. Yeah. Um, and you need to just go for it. Don't wait. Don't say, okay, oh, they say it changes September 2026, so I'm going to leave it then. If I had pressed harder once I got into the country, actually, if I had even pressed harder whilst I was in Nigeria, just looking at the website, I may have found this group of people. I get this all the time. Oh, amazing. I'm so happy I found you. Oh no, I wish I found you before I did my interview. I wish I found you. I've already submitted my form. You found me right now. You've got the help right at your doorstep. Do not waste time. Keep going. Okay. One other thing, which is number 9, that I wish that I had known and identified was that there are others just like me. One thing that helped me was realizing that there's a group of people that are passing this thing. At the time when we were doing it, honestly speaking, it was like a plague. It was like an impossible thing. Some people didn't even dare try it because it was so scary at the time. You plug in a lot of money, you've got a particular time to finish it. If you don't finish it, you start again, and you're just second guessing yourself because there was no guidance, no help. So if I had come in 2012 and known that there were other people just like me going through the process, and this is where I need to get the support, do the tutorials, this is the group that I need to belong to, I mean, it would have been so much easier. I'm grateful for where I am today, and that's why I'm just speaking out to help other international optometrists to get the information that they need, the transformation they need to make their journey, um, easier. And obviously, that just ties into when the other people that are just like you, people that are doing what you're doing, an academy such as ACN Academy that is there with roadmaps. That we've got free guides out there, the free step-to-step guide to UK qualification. We've got the free GOC interview success kit that walks you through all the competencies. We've got resources on our pages, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and all. We've got our private support group. Those of you that have registered for the masterclass, we are actually doing a live masterclass again on the 24th of when is it? July. Yeah, next week, Thursday. Why? We've been talking online, we've been talking just online, TikTok here and there, on Facebook. Let's come sit down, videos on, camera on, ask questions, let's talk, let's feel it. And that section is going to be amazing because you don't just have like a step to step walking through. I'm just going to be piecing it down so that for anyone that even wants to get started right on that masterclass, you've got a roadmap, you know where you're going, you know how to assess help where, because you know where we are at. I mean, just send me a message in my DM, put a ask your questions when we are live. Join the TikTok lives that we're going to be doing every lunchtime. I always say I can't say the exact time because my lunch is round about 12:20. It starts 12:20 or 12:50 or 1:10. Whenever it starts, I have to have some food, and I'm on there, just giving you, answering questions and giving you guidance on what you need to do to move to your next step. My goal for 2025 was to ensure that no international optometrist that needs help, that wants to qualify in the UK, is stuck, that the information and the transformation that is needed, they have access to it. And I've made myself and will continue to make myself available for that. And so, on this note, good evening. Good evening, Neto Chuku. Good evening. How are you? Thank you for coming in. On this note, I would like to ask any questions before we close today. Though I do not like to keep my candidates waiting in the academy. We're going to do a lovely session this evening. But yes, I hope you got value out of the session this evening. And if you haven't registered for that masterclass, if you're watching on LinkedIn, actually, if you click the link just on my bio, you would see free masterclass. Click on that link, it will take you to where to register. When you register, click on the link and join the WhatsApp group. So WhatsApp support group, you can ask your questions right there. It's a place where you get access to me for this time, up until the masterclass, and a little bit after, to ask your questions and get help, the much help that you need. Yes, so thank you so much, all of you that have come in. For those of you that haven't liked, go ahead and like. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. On TikTok, the name is ACN Academy UK. Locate maybe Dr. Desi Cosmos, ACN Academy UK. Follow the page and then look out for our lives. As of now, TikTok doesn't broadcast lives when it's over. So when you get in there, you get your question answered and it disappears. It's not on the feed. You'll find very helpful videos there, but you won't find the Q&A sessions that we do every lunchtime. And so I encourage you to follow that page and just be careful to notice when we go live. All right. Thank you so much. And so this is the 5th live that we have done in this 5 secret series. Going forward now, we will just continue to, as we hear and as we learn, we continue to release. As you ask your questions as well, we continue to release content based on that to answer questions. So please, even if you're watching on the replay, go ahead and submit your questions and we can answer it. I'll catch you on the masterclass 24th or inside our private Facebook support group, more so inside the WhatsApp group. And more importantly, I'm going to see you tomorrow. What am I saying? I'll see you tomorrow lunchtime, actually, on TikTok for our bust. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. You take care now. Before you clock out, go ahead, like, share. Tell your friends and your colleagues about this page. And I say a very big God bless you, rooting for all of you that are going through the UK qualification process. I believe that before September 2026, you should have finished. Yeah, that's the goal. Okay, you should have finished, not starting. We don't know what's happening then. You should have finished. All right, you take care now.